Keep our politicians fighting? How do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
Hey, everybody. Larry Sharp here on A Free Solution. Usually host of the Sharpway Show almost every night, 7 p.m. You can check me out there, but you can check me out here right now. WYSL, Rochester, New York, WACK in Newark, New York. That's the cool Newark. You can reach out to me, 585-346-3000. I promise I will not yell and scream. Well, I might, but probably won't, and I won't bite unless you ask. I am about consent. Our last governor was not, but I am. I am all about consent. You have to decide yes. And if you do, we're good. But I don't want to talk about our previous governor. I would like to speak a little bit about our new lieutenant governor. Yes, lieutenant governor. Here in New York State, we're about to get a new lieutenant governor. Our governor, new governor, has decided that she wanted to pick somebody from New York City. Not that I'm against New York City. I live in New York City. No worries. But there are two pieces I want to bring up that may be worrisome. The first one is the governor herself, and the second is her pick and why she made that pick. So, first piece, the governor. Is she better than Cuomo? Of course. Literally almost anybody would be. This is a very low bar to get over. I mean, a very low bar. Like, I don't know, serial killers are worse. So, like, they couldn't get over the bar. But unless you're like that, you pretty much can get over that bar. But the worst part about it is she's just barely. Like, she didn't even take a jump. She just kind of crawled over that bar. It's not great. Basically, she's copying all of his bad policies. She's just not the equivalent of a mafia hitman. So that's it. And so far, she's not harassing people. So she got over the bar, yes. But by much? No. She's kind of rolled over that bar, but she got over it. So she is better. I'll give her that, but not by much. She barely got over that bar. So she literally said that she would happily mandate everything. She's all about mandates. And what she says, her words, and it's important you listen to her words, they are legal mandates. So it sounds like she may be asking for some extra some extra power from our assembly. That's what I think. So why would I say this? Because she picked a guy from New York City who is good in the Senate and the assembly, that people know who he is. He's seen as a friendly guy out of New York City. His name is Brian Benjamin. So those of you who don't know, don't live in New York State, Brian Benjamin is out of Manhattan, Harlem, New York City. That's not a bad thing by default at all. Here's the bad part. He is exactly what you would be worried about from New York City. All about de Blasio's great. I know some people still think that. It's crazy. And number one issues for him, Delta and public housing. So COVID and public housing, number one for him. Number one for her, COVID. That's number one. Biggest issue. Not just that, he's a defund the police guy. Now, she said she wasn't defund the police. She said that more than once. Not about defund the police. He is, though, openly. So the question becomes, does he all of a sudden start saying, oh, I was never those things. I was just kidding. I'm moderate. See? Believe me. And you have seen many people make that turn and shift in the past. Do you believe them? Maybe you shouldn't. But they do. Or does she just come clean and go, I'm just turning hard left? Now, that would be a shift for her too. Not that she isn't a Democrat. She's Democrat. And you should expect left-leaning policies from Democrats. Whether you like them or not, it's expected, right? You should be shocked by it. But she comes from Western New York. In the past, she has been much more of a moderate Democrat, right? In the past. As she joined the Cuomo group, team, mob family, whatever she joined, she became more left. And I feel like she's going even further left now. And I think she believes that this is the way to get her elected. And this is what I was worried about. I was hoping that she wouldn't run and be much more of a mediocre governor. I think I may have been wrong on this one. I may have been, because it looked like she's trying to actually run again. I was hoping she'd be like Patterson. For those of you who know, he was our previous lieutenant governor that became governor after Spitzer. He was like, no, I'm good. I'm doing my year and a half and I'm out. And he was fine. He was not a bad governor. He was a mediocre governor. It's fine. He basically said, let's just make sure the place isn't burned down until the next guy takes over. That's fine. I thought she would be more that way. I'm starting to think I could be wrong here. I feel like she might be wanting to run. And if she wants to run, she's grabbing the right guy to run, knowing she's got to win cities. So she goes and grabs a New York City guy. But I got to tell you, I think that's a mistake. Why are you grabbing New York City people? You're a Democrat. You get the cities. That's like a given. No one's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. I'm vote Republican now because she didn't get a guy from New York City. I don't see that, but I could be wrong. Any case, of all the people she chose somebody who is clearly further left than her. Clearly. Like there was no, is that a balancing? I'm not sure. Clearly left. And she hasn't said that she's not. And so far, he hasn't backed off that much, right? A little bit, but not much. Like he's like, well, I'm not totally defund the police. You know, like I'm a moderate, 90% defund them. I think that's where his head is, something like that. See, I'm a moderate. We can keep 10%. Is that moderate? I don't know. In his head, maybe it is. But I think that's where he's going. He's a big proponent of bail reform. Now, let me be clear on bail reform. The idea of bail reform is amazing. I'm for the idea of bail reform. The way it was implemented, oh my God, terrible. This is not, New York State's bail reform is not a good idea. It did not work well at all. It's a disaster. And I had hoped, and you would think the amount of times my hopes have been proven wrong, that I would not be hopeful, but I'm still hopeful. I had hoped that the courts would see how bad bail reform was working in New York State and would then create rulings that would basically by default fix it, right? That they would make rulings based upon the actions and it would repair bail reform. Oh my God, no. That's not what happened at all. They've done nothing. So now it has to go back to the Senate and the Assembly. And many people, Democrats and Republicans, I will give some Democrats some credit here. Even they decided we got to redo this thing, right? We got to redo it. And it still hasn't gone back. Hochul was not bringing that up. She's not even bringing up violence. It's not even her thing. She's more worried about police reform, which there should be police reform, of course. Yes. And we should care about COVID. We should, absolutely. And public housing. Yes, we should care about those things. But how high are those on your priority schedule? That is my issue. I'm not against caring about public housing. We should care about public housing. It does matter. But he is now going to be on a special task force for public housing. Meanwhile, 25% of all New York City businesses have shut down and may not come back. I care about public housing. I care about those businesses more. And we should, but we don't. We're worried about COVID. I am worried about COVID. I'm worried about New Yorkers leaving New York City and New York State in droves. I'm worried about right now in New York City, there being a lot of traffic. And there shouldn't be, but there is. Why? Because people aren't using the MTA. If they want to come to New York City, they're still driving anyway because they won't use the public transportation because it's so broken. Because it's so broken. They still won't use it. And they're scared of it because of the violence. Yeah, it's broken and it's scary. So why would you go? So why isn't that higher on your priorities? That's my worry. That even if she was going to be a mediocre governor, priorities, totally wrong. Not the right answer at all. All right, well, maybe have I gone too far? Have I misread her? Or should I not be hopeful? I'm still hopeful. I'm here. Larry Sharp, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. A free solution. Back after the break.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whenever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
The Finger Lakes Castle team is in its 7th decade of factory direct service to the service professional. From cleaning the ins and outs of your vehicle to keeping you on the road, Castle's got you covered. Castle makes streak-proof glass cleaner, FDA-registered sanitizers, and EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectants. Remember, when you need to keep it clean, use what the pros use. Castle. Accept no substitutes.
Castle keeps it clean.
A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix as Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Larry Sharp, I am here on A Free Solution. But here's the cool stuff. Remember this show, it's not on just today. It's on every day at noon. I mean, not just in my ear, but the super cool Kevin Wilson's on. And the even cooler Tim O'Connor's on. Sorry, Kevin. And we've been trying, as you know, I've been telling you for months, to even get Mr. Andrew Holster on. He's cool too. So we'll see. When you get me every Tuesday, but you get cool people every noon. Not a bad deal. How do you figure that out? Follow us on Facebook, A Free Solution. Follow us on YouTube, A Free Solution. That's how you do it. But right now you got me. 585-346-3000. WYSL Rochester, New York, and WACK Newark, New York. Let me grab a couple of comments. A lot of people are commenting on this. I appreciate you guys watching. So I think some of you kind of see the same thing that I'm seeing, right? So Shauna says, beware the shape shifters. I like that. That's a good one. And I think it's true, right? That I think is I say this often, and please take this the right way. There's a part of my mayor, Bill de Blasio, that I actually respect. And I don't like him. He's a terrible mayor. But Shauna, he's not a shapeshifter. He is right in your face. He's like, I'm all about communism. I'm all about socialism. I'm all about taking your money. I'm all about it. And here I am. Take it or leave it. And that part of him, I actually respect. He's a true believer. You know, he publicly said, yes, wealth redistribution is the way to keeping people happy, is the way to taking care of social justice. Yes, he was all about it. So he's not a shapeshifter. And the advantage of that is, there he is. You see it. But to your point, Shauna, the other ones might be. So they look like they're going to do this, or they act like they're going to do this, or they act a certain way when they're in the primary and then change when they're in a general, or act a certain way when they're in the cities and act a certain way when they're out, you know, in the rural areas. You're right. That's the bigger concern. One of the reasons why I do everything live with no notes is because I would have to be the most ultimate shapeshifter in the world to not show who I am. I do many, many events all the time. I do this show, I do the Sharp Way show, and I do it all live. I'd have to be the greatest shapeshifter of all time if you don't know who I am by now. So thank you for that. Shauna says, I told you Cuomo was just a stepping stone. The worst is still yet to come. She's no different. Shauna, I do think that she's, I don't want to say better, less worse, less bad. I think she's less bad. I don't think she would be anywhere near as mean and nasty and as vindictive as Cuomo was. I think she's still going to be a bad governor. But again, I'm going to less worse. I think she's less worse. I don't think she's as bad as a human being as Cuomo was and still is. He's a bad human being. I don't think she's that bad at all as a person. That makes any sense. I think we'll find out. I could be wrong. And I tend to be hopeful. Guys, guilty as charged. I'm an optimist. That's who I am. I'm not, and again, that's not a shapeshifter. That's who I am. I've been the whole time. I always want to have hope, and I want to try to fix this state, and I want to believe that's repairable. So, guilty as charged, Shauna. That's how it is. Yes. John says, I think if you're a Democrat, you attack from the left in a primary and blame all of His Majesty's shortcomings on her. Yeah, can you? That's true. In a Democratic primary, can you go too far left? I think only, to Shauna's point, if you're a bad shapeshifter. If you're a good shapeshifter, You go hard left, bring everybody in, go back to the middle, and hope you don't scare people, right? If you're a Democrat in New York State, you want to make sure you're not too scary to draw all the Republicans out to vote. You want Republicans to not vote. And sadly, in New York State, that's often true, right? They often don't come out to vote. In certain parts of the state, it's like 1 in 5 vote. Trump changed that, though. A lot of people like Trump. He got a lot of Republicans out. But prior to Trump, many Republicans just didn't show up to vote. So you're hoping for that if you're a Democrat, right? I think that's true. It makes sense. Francis says, I hope New Yorkers choose wisely in 2022. Save NY. I agree. I think you're right. Yes, that's an awesome idea. We should do that. Yes. All right. Someone's been something off, but I'll touch it. I'm not sure who to vote for to replace Newsome in California. I like Wildstar and Elder. Any tips? Well, for those of you who are in California who are trying to replace Newsome, I hope you guys do replace Newsome. We would lose Cuomo and Newsome, both of the horrible stars. Yes, I'm using air quotes. Both of the horrible stars in both of the big blue states would have been taken down. So I hope you guys in California do. But I'm biased, guys. I'm just telling you I'm biased. I think the person to vote for is Jeff Hewitt. That's for those of you in California. Why? He's a personal friend of mine. I love him. We actually share a birthday. Yes, we have the same birthday. So if you're asking me, I'm going to give you my completely biased opinion. Jeff Hewitt all the way. He's my personal friend. I've had him on my show, Sharp Way. Just spoke to him this weekend at an event. Love the man. Jeff Hewitt's your answer. So there's your totally, I know him, my friend, biased answer. Take that for whatever you like. So yes, I hope that was good. But I want to keep going down this road of Lieutenant Governor. The problem that we have here is that we have Kathy Hochul, who is a lifelong politician. And now we have Brian Benjamin, also lifelong politician. Not that I'm against lifelong politicians. I'm not. I'm against when everybody around you is one. That's my problem. I'm one of those weird people who actually, in reality, likes real diversity. And when I say diversity, I don't just mean you check the box. I mean actual diversity of thought. Yeah, some of you just fell out of your chair. I know you're saying, who does that? They don't. That's the problem. In all of these groups and organizations, particularly political, you do find people who look different. That does happen. But do they think differently? Most don't. I actually want people who have been in government and people who have never been in government. I would like all of those things. I believe that's really the strength that we'd actually have. Not just you happen to be a woman, you happen to be a man, but you both believe the only answer to anything is more government force. I'm not impressed. That's not impressive. So again, we're back to the same piece. And I was talking to friends here in New York City. I was asking, why you like this candidate or that candidate. And so common wasn't anything about policy. It was, well, they have experience. You need that here in New York City. I kept saying to myself, how has that helped us in the last 20 years? Last 30 years? How's that helped us? I don't know. I mean, I used to think that Bloomberg was not the best mayor, right? I'll say that. I used to think that. Then we got de Blasio. I was like, I'll take Bloomberg. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll take Bloomberg back. Just kidding. Bloomberg's fine. Just kidding. But de Blasio had experience. Bloomberg didn't. I'd rather have Bloomberg. So that's a bigger issue. Career politicians with no diversity of thought running the same cities, the same ways, and expecting different results. Not going to work. Oh my God, not going to work. Larry Sharp on a free solution. 585 833-446-3000. Back with your comments and your calls at the break.
Fly the flag, stand for freedom.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We're looking at increasing clouds. We'll drop down near 60 degrees. On Wednesday, it'll average out mostly cloudy, a little cool. Northeast wind, temperatures near 70 or so. The remnants of Ida slide by to our south, so no rain expected here, but it will be mostly cloudy. Back to sunshine, some beautiful weather, a little feel of fall. Thursday, low 70s. I'm Rich Cadelia, WYSL.
Summertime means a world of summer fun with a little help from Victor Chevrolet. Pursue the possibilities of summer in your 2021 Equinox all-wheel drive LS. Lease it for just $249.95 per month for 39 months. Or enjoy the versatility of the tough and roomy 2021 Trailblazer LS front-wheel drive. Lease for only $159.95 a month for 39 months. You could haul plenty of people and cargo in your 2021 Chevy Silverado 1500 LT double cab pickup. Lease for just $379 a month for 39 months. All these deals include all applicable factory rebates, incentives, and discounts. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents for each additional mile. $2,500 cash or trade. First payment, tax, acquisition, bank, and DMV fees due at signing for all leases. Lessee responsible for repair and maintenance. Security deposit is waived. Must have existing lease and household. Tier 1 credit approval required. All deals end August 31st, 2021. Don't forget, Victor Chevrolet needs your trade. Find new roads at Victor Chevrolet, Route 96 in Victor. Visit victorchevrolet.com.
Because your future is worth it. MGM Associates Insurance, proudly serving the region since 1984. MGM can meet your coverage needs, ranging from home, condo, and auto, all the way to specialized policies for business, workers' comp, to limo and taxi insurance, and coverage for tech professionals like IT specialists. They can also help lead you through the confusing maze in the new world of health insurance coverage and options. MGM Associates is large enough to serve you, but small enough to care, so you don't have to wait in line on some 800 number to get prompt personal attention. MGM Associates is the only winner of the National Best Practices Award 5 times in a row. MGM is proud to support veterans groups, including Heroes Home Advantage. For your personal, business, home, or professional insurance needs, meet the professionals at MGM Associates Insurance, locally and proudly owned at 1745 Penfield Road in Penfield, 381-7008. Or mgminsure.com, an associate of Ontario Insurance Company, 28 Canandaigua Street in Shortsville.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
At Veterans Outreach Center, we do so much more than just provide services for veterans. Our one-stop shop model means that we provide a life-changing experience to our nation's heroes. If you're a veteran looking to change your life, or even just to connect with other vets, contact us today at 585-546-1081 or online at vocroc.org. Veterans Outreach Center, serving those who serve us.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten-Free Bakery has a great deal on Tuesdays. A large 4-topping pizza for $18, regular or gluten-free. Call 226-9575. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten-Free Bakery in Avon.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs. Get your rifle, shotgun, or pistol serviced and tuned before you take it to the field. Open Tuesday through Saturday. Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, East Main Street, next to the Bank of Castile.
On Saturday at 7 o'clock on The Liberty Show with Kevin Fortune. The U.S. government gives away millions and millions each year. Who deserves it? Does anybody? We take a look. The Liberty Show with Kevin Fortune.
A free solution.
Hey, it is Larry Sharp here on A Free Solution, host of the Sharp Way Show. You can follow me on the Sharp Way if you want to. Head over to the Sharp Way, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all the interweb things. Enjoy. But here I'm on A Free Solution. WYSL Rochester, New York, WACK in Newark, New York. Yes, not Newark, New Jersey. Newark, New York. That's the cool Newark. 585-346-3000 is the number to reach out. I want to take a couple more comments, but before I go there, the last piece I want to bring up regarding our new lieutenant governor is he also ran for comptroller here in New York. He's run for many things. He's a inside guy. No worries. That's fine. Lots of people do that, right? They pick the inside guy to help them out. But I guess my bigger concern is how in the world does Hochul, our governor, make actual change by picking insiders? How in the world does she distance herself from Cuomo by picking insiders? How does she distinguish herself from anybody else? By picking insiders. So you might say, well, Larry, I don't care if she does. Maybe you don't either. I get it. I don't either. The issue is this poor judgment? Is this not caring? Is this thinking it doesn't matter? Right? I'm going to win anyway. Who cares? Or is this a sadder piece in that it doesn't matter? It really doesn't matter. That she's correct, and it really doesn't matter. That as long as she keeps up exactly the same thing, we will just keep accepting all the same stuff. I hope I'm wrong on that one. But I feel like that's what she believes, and she might be right. So there we go. Let me move on. Okay. Tamara says, I'm coming in late, but I have a question. Is the new governor ordering vaccinations to attend public spaces? I don't think she's done that yet, if I remember that right. She's in the process of. She's now, if I'm not mistaken, talking about mandating all kids who go to school either having a test or a vaccination. I think she's on that road. I'm sure someone will correct me, but I'm pretty sure she hasn't said it yet, but she is absolutely on that road to full mandate. She actually said openly that if she had the power to do so, she would just mandate everybody. Her words were, remember them right, I want everyone vaccinated. I'm going to paraphrase this last part. If I had the powers that the governor had last year, I would mandate it. It's just something like that. So she may not be there yet. She's on her way, and she would. I hope that was a good enough answer for you. So, Joshua, talking about California. Thank you for bringing it up. I'd love to see Meet Kevin. And Meet Kevin is a YouTuber who's also running for governor in California. He is he ran as a Democrat.
Phil on the line.
But he's kind of an independent-ish. I think he ran Democrat because he probably leans left. But I don't think he's really a Democrat, Joshua. I think you're right. He's like a kind of middle road guy, and he's like, it's California. I got to run Democrat. So I think he might win. I do think he might win.
Phil is in Florida on vacation.
So, let me grab, if I could, a call. Phil, out of Florida. How are you, my friend?
He's from New York.
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
Excellent. Larry, you and I go way back. This is Phil, the recovering know-it-all.
Oh, my God. Gornai, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm excellent. And I always appreciate that you know how to pronounce my last name. Yeah.
10,
it's been a
15
while.
years?
Easy. But I do have a question that I think you are best able to articulate.
Okay.
There seems to be this ongoing polarization of thought.
Yes.
And you're on the left, there's people on the right, there are centrists and all of that. What, in your opinion, is the left's ability to give in? Like, what are we willing to lose in order to gain some footing? And so that, what are we asking people on the polar opposites? Give in a little here so we can meet someplace. It doesn't have to be the middle, but I'm willing to give this up if you give me this.
I actually believe that compromise is the wrong way at looking at this. Because when you compromise, what you just said is how people feel. I have to give something up. And when you compromise, both sides lose. I don't want to compromise. What I want to do is I want to collaborate. And the difference between the two is a compromise says, okay, Phil, you got to lose this. I got to lose that. Now we both lose, but we get something, I guess. So now we're both kind of satisfied and kind of not. Instead, why don't we both focus on the outcome? And then when we get the right outcome, whenever possible, try both ways. Whenever possible, allow both ways, but then move towards the same goal. So I'm someone who says, all right, if I got to give in to, say, some people who want government health care, and I might go, well, I'd like to have some private health care too, and I'm not sure that the government's going to be the right answer. I don't know, back and forth. I could fight and give some and give another, or I could say, all right, fine, you know what? Let's have a public option, and let's have a vibrant free market option and see which one does better. And if you're worried, there is the government option if you're worried. And if you're worried that it won't have the private insurance, that exists too. The problem is we're having a current environment to where elections matter so much. It's winner take all. And that's why we fight so much. I don't want to compromise, Phil. I want to collaborate.
And I appreciate what you just said. So how do we get back to a place of discourse so that if the corporate giants who pretty much run things, they have a seat at the table.
Yes.
How do we get a seat at the table? Like a real seat at the table.
You know that I go out of my way to care about the little guy, whether that little guy is a hot dog vendor in New York City or whether that little guy is a farmer in Wyoming County, New York. I don't care. Little guy matters to me tremendously. And the answer is, instead of trying to take down Goliath, we build up hundreds, if not thousands, of Davids. Because if you knock down one Goliath, another Goliath pops up, right? It doesn't matter. You move one to the other. I want to make an environment to where the Davids can grow. But it's a second piece. And this is going to sound silly, but it really does work. Ultra transparency. And the example I'll give you is Bloomberg when he ran for president. Right. Everybody knew Bloomberg was writing checks. He had enough money to win everything. But everyone knew, oh, this is another Goliath taking over stuff. Now, did Bernie have big donors? Of course he had some. Did Biden have big donors? Of course he did. Other people had big donors. But Bloomberg got hammered, even though he had the most money and great name recognition, because it felt wrong. And the same thing happened, believe it or not, if you go back a couple years with Newt Gingrich on the right, when he was being backed by Stephen Adelson. Everybody knew he was writing big checks. And on the right, he couldn't move forward. Even though people liked Newt Gingrich back then, he still couldn't go because people saw it as bad or distasteful or nasty. ultra transparency, and an environment that allows the little guy to grow.
I appreciate what you just said, and it's ironic that you mentioned Newt Gingrich because some might say that he's the father of the polarization in politics, where perhaps
in the 90s, he was a big part of it. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yes, 100% agree. He was a big part of it.
So one of the things that always puts you in a good light for me is the stand that you took for reimagining family court.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
The disparity with, or the way that it was kind of like the feeder for criminal justice. You break up the family.
Absolutely it is.
And so I don't want to steal your thunder.
We will have another call after this.
Well,
No, Phil, I got to go off to a commercial.
Okay.
I so good. Reach out to me, brother. Let's get together again.
You got it. All right.
All right. Thank you. Guys, great call. I hope that was clear for all of you. More Davids, less Goliaths. Larry Sharp, A Free Solution, WYSL Radio, with your calls and your comments. Back after the break.
Next will be Shane from New York.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
A free solution.
It is Larry Sharp back here on A Free Solution, WYSL, Rochester, New York, and WACK in Newark, New York. So happy that you're giving me a chunk of your afternoon. Yes, you can follow us on A Free Solution, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can also follow me, Larry Sharp, or The Sharp Way. Yeah, I got two. I got so much of the interweb stuff. It is crazy. Follow me if you can. I would appreciate it. Let me go to another phone call if I could. I have Shane from New York. How are you, Shane?
Hi, Larry. It's Shane from New York, from KRTD.
What's going on, my friend? How are you? I was on your show before.
That's right. That was really fun.
All my buddies are calling me today. I love it.
So I wanted to build on what the last guy had to say about compromise. You don't necessarily have to compromise. As being someone on the left and you being someone on the libertarian side, there's still some stuff that we do agree on.
Oh, yeah.
We agree on ending
100%.
the wars. We agree on things like that. And that's where I think we can come together and help each other on that front.
But I think there's something else. I don't think that necessarily people on the right want wars. I think the establishment, both Democrat and Republican, want wars. I think what most Republicans want or conservatives want is safety. They want security. They want to feel comfortable and safe and secure. And I believe that many conservatives think that the way to get there is war. Or they've been convinced of that, I should say, by the mainstream. The military-industrial complex is both Democrat and Republican. The amount of Democrats who've become neocons all of a sudden is shocking. But I think my point is, if we agree on the outcome, that what we want is safety and security, if we believe that first, now we can walk down any road together, at least in theory, or at least we can talk together as human beings versus yelling, you're evil, no, you're evil. I want security. I do too. I think you can look at, and this is a bad, I'm using a bad country as an example, but it does land, and that is China. China is creating a security state without bombing people. Well, maybe we could learn some of that. Not the horrible stuff, obviously. But the point is, there is another way of creating a security state. Switzerland has a totally different way of creating a security state. They are very neutral and heavily armed. So, you know, there are different ways to create security. My issue is, if we fight on whether or not we should be having war, we fight. I would rather us fight on how do we become safe and secure.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. So I always want to focus on the outcomes, not on the way to get there, right? This way, at least we're talking. If we're all, I just mentioned earlier in the show how I care tremendously about diversity of thought. And the reason why I care is the key for any good organization, any good group, the holy grail is to get diversity of thought with unity of purpose. If you get that, you got a good shot of getting the right answer, the best outcomes. And if you fail initially, everyone gets together to go, okay, that didn't work. That didn't get us to where we want to go. Let's try another way. But we'll do it together because we care. And the person who was part of the idea that didn't work isn't angry. They go, okay, let's not do that. We want the same thing. And imagine if we were actually had on the table trying to be secure through war, as we're doing now, trying to be secure through dominating markets, as the Chinese trying to do now, and trying to be secure through being a bit more insular with heavy arming of our populace, like Switzerland. Imagine if all three were on the board, but we're all going towards the same way. We'd find the right answer.
Absolutely. I think that would also appeal to those who are worried about giving up everything, and or who feel like, oh, if we end all the wars, we're giving up every inch of our security.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes, that's exactly right. The problem is when people go, don't fight wars, a lot of people think you're saying you don't like the military, or you want us to be weak, or you want us to be isolationists. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying right now, all the wars aren't making us safer. It's not working. So either we need less wars or no wars. I tend to think no wars, but I would take less wars if it got us safer. I'll take less. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's where that compromise comes in. All right, let's get out of these 50. and we'll talk about the other 180 later.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. But again, that actually wouldn't be a compromise. That will be a collaboration. Because if I actually I know you're not a warmonger, Shane, but for the sake of argument, if you were a warmonger and you and I agreed on security, and I said, well, which 50 would you like us to get out of? And you pick them. Well, now we're not compromising. Now we're collaborating to be more secure. And that's the goal. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely. That definitely makes sense. I think that
Awesome.
that definitely takes away that element of fear from the people who would be
Yes.
warmongers, and allows you to get past that conversation. Oh, what do you think of, what about military? Don't you support the military? All that.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate the call, brother.
Thank you, Larry.
All right. So I hope that was clear. I think Shane and Phil both were thinking the same way. How do we move forward? We're just fighting with each other, which is true. Well, it's because we're not going to the same place. I hope, and I know many of you have been mad at me, and some of you have loved me, and sometimes in the same show. But either way, I hope you see that my goal is probably your goal. We want happiness. You want it. I want it. I think our goal is probably the same goal. We just got to get there. So let's talk. And if you've watched me over the years that I've been doing this, you've seen my mind changed. There's times when I go, wait a minute. When I first heard about bail reform, I was like, yeah. If you remember that, I was like, yeah, great idea. Then it hit and I was like, oh, whoa. Okay, maybe let's rethink this. But I was on board. And then I realized, okay, I changed my mind. But my goal was always the same thing. People ask why I care about bail reform. Because bail reform should be about, it is not, but it should be about giving the first-time offender a break. You shouldn't, because you messed up once,
2 minutes.
Wrong place, wrong time, or it wasn't even you, whatever. Your life shouldn't be ruined for one thing. You should get a second chance. I'm all about second chances. That's what bail reform should be about. It's not. It's about just not putting people in jail ever. That's what it's about now in New York State, sadly. So I think you have to find those answers. If the goal is giving people a real second chance, you and I can talk. If you just want to punish people, we can't talk. Right? Now we're talking past each other. You're talking left, I'm talking right. But if we're about giving people a second chance, we can find the right answer. Shelley says, we are capable of disagreeing without dismissing people. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We have to make sure that we do that. How can we survive without it? It's really important. Yes. Shelley says, current Governor Kathy Hochul is taking credit for what Larry has been doing for years, claiming she's been visiting all 62 counties. Imitation is flattery, even if she didn't do it. Thank you, Shelley. Yes, it's not a full Hochul, it's a full Sharp. She's biting off of me. I guess I should be flattered. That's true. For those who don't know, I do cross the state every single year, all 62 counties, do stops, talk to people. That's what I do. So yes. Shona says, on your next free solution, can you talk about schools having isolation rooms for COVID? I didn't know that was a thing. I will check it out, Shauna. I appreciate it. Guys, the solution is collaboration. It doesn't cost you anything. Nobody loses. It's free. Yeah, a free solution. Thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will see you all next week.